district play continues for Cujo. The John Tyler Lions are on the road this week, Friday night at Eagle Stadium in Lindale. Kickoff at 7:30. The Lions are 1-0. They are 1-0 in the district after their 65-33 win over White House this past Friday night. Forget the 0-3, forget the non-district. Means nothing now because district play is underway. And I bet you'd be more than happy to agree with me on that. You're 1-0. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. It's money time, and this is where, everything means everything right now.
Of course, this is Coach Rickland Holmes, the head coach of the Lions. And what did it mean? And I know the kids can't help but think about it, they hear about it. You guys are ever going to win a game, stuff like that. But now that you've actually won one, what do you think it'll do for these guys?
Well, it shows that everything that we've been doing up to this point has meaning to it.
Yeah.
And they understand exactly the process now, and they believe in the process. So now we're getting ready for Lindale.
What'd you do right against White House?
I think we moved the ball a lot better on offense side of the ball, defense side of the ball. We put ourselves in a position to stop them a whole bunch of times, but because of a couple of flags that were called and deals that White House did to put themselves in a position, it kind of dictated a little bit on how well that success was during the game.
I guess at least we need to at least address it briefly. There were a lot of penalties in that game. What happened?
Some of it was self-inflicting, and a lot of it was just calls that were made. You just got to live and die with that and go on by your business.
So really, as you look to correct that this week, I know coaches sometimes hate talking about penalties because that just leads to more penalties.
Yeah.
But what do you say to your guys about all that?
Well, the ones that were self-inflicting, them are the ones that you can correct. But then those that were just called, you tell your kids to play a certain way, and you know that, the way that you are telling them to play is the way that it needs to be played without a penalty being coming that way. So those deals right there, we just got to tell them, hey, get over it, fight through it, let's move forward, because sometimes calls are just going to be calls.
With the game as fast as it is right now, both these teams, you're running kind of a spread and they're running a spread, although you're running a little bit more of the wing offense too, some mixed in. But do you think the game's harder to officiate because these teams are moving so fast right now?
Yeah, you got to be able to keep up with it. A lot of referees are out of position to make certain calls, and they're depending on other guys to make calls for them. That's really not their call to make. So, sometimes those calls are made, knee-jerky because of I'm trying to take up for my counterpart.
But I see games now, the teams are running so fast, the chain gang hasn't even had a chance.
They can't keep up.
Hadn't even had a chance to keep up.
A couple of times against White House last Friday, the ball was snapped either for us or White House, and the chain wasn't even set on the other side yet. So,
is there anything to be done about that?
That has to do with the referee. That has to do with the umpire. That's something that they have to get control of because they are the ones that are dictating the flow of the game versus spotting the ball and getting everything set.
Yeah, but everybody's wanting to go so fast, though. Yeah. If they slowed the game down on purpose, would you get mad about it? If they said, "Wait up, guys, you can't run. We're not ready yet."
As long as everybody's in position to be, as long as everybody's in position to do what they need to do and to do their job effectively, I have no quarrels with that.
You had several. You shook things up this past week, lineup-wise. You had a couple of guys playing both ways too, didn't you?
I did. One of them is Braylon Jones. Braylon Jones done a great job for us at center. Then he came back on the defense side of the ball and done a great job at tackle. He was a kid that had over 150 plays Friday night.
150
you look at
plays.
A kid like that going both ways, being 270 pounds plus, going both ways, everybody kind of frowns upon the little guys that can't go both ways.
Yeah.
Because, if this guy right here can do it, if Adrian Harris can do it, why can't the skilled guys do it? So, that's why I tell people all the time, we don't have guys that just play on one side of the ball because the best 11 are the best 11 that need to play. And that's why Braden had to play center.
And the reality is at this point in the year, as you approach your fifth game, you're starting to boil it down.
Right.
In basketball, they call it the rotation. Some teams play with 7, 8, 9 guys. You're starting to boil it down to those guys that you're going to roll out there for the rest of the year. Barring injury, that rotation is going to be that rotation, right?
That's what it's going to be. That's why it's going to be. That's just like with the running back by committee that we started, going into the White House game. I think we got 4 quality guys that can run the ball. But some days, some guys are a little bit hotter than others. And, Friday night, KD was the hot running back.
Kadarius Henderson.
That's right.
And Bryson Smith, and I'm sure we'll see plenty of him in a moment, but Did he take a giant step forward for you?
I think he did. I think he did.
As your quarterback.
He's learning, and that's what preseason's about. Preseason's about learning what you can do and what you can do well,
right,
and building on that. And I think that Bryson has understood everything that needs to go on at the quarterback position, and he's starting to come into his own. And as we get deeper and deeper in the district, y'all gonna see him improve more and more.
We got about 17 minutes of highlights. When you score 65 points, you're going to have a lot of highlights and made some big defensive plays. And so Coach Holmes brings along a bunch of plays. So let's take a look at some of what went on as the Lions in the blue take on the Wildcats Friday night, Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium.
And this is a little kickoff right here. Great job on the block setup, and then Kader is just using his speed to get to the corner and set the edge and make some plays with his feet. You know, that's one thing we've always harped on since we've been there is taking care of the three phases of the football game. And special teams is one of those three phases.
Well, you had a punt return in this game. I'm sure we'll see it in a bit, but I mean, you talk about a bonus. You know, if you to get a gift like that, and then you had a block punt for a touchdown, right?
Most definitely.
So you had 14 points off special teams in this game.
That's it. And you know, these are the hidden points that a lot of head coaches, a lot of coaches want to try to get.
Well, it's like free money almost, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. This is us on the defense side of the ball.
Now, Point Braylon Jones out. Is he the left tackle?
He's the left. He's the left one.
Now, understand he's playing both sides of the ball. Number 52 there, Braylon Jones.
Great job at the edge right here by Shundrick Williams, doing his job, being where he needs to be. A lot of teams are starting to do the check with me. You know, they act like they get ready to hike the ball and then they look to the sideline.
Trying to draw you off sides, right?
Yeah. That's a great job by the defense, you know.
Who made that tackle?
That was Shundrick Williams.
Okay, Sean, that's the same play. All right, here we go. This is the end zone version of the same play. White House pretty prolific offense. They were 2-1 coming in.
Oh, yeah. And the development of their quarterback this year, I think he's a senior. His production from last year has risen up above what he had, you know. So this right here is going to be
This is the punt block.
This is a punt block right here that we'll get. It's right here. No, it's a punt return. This is going to be the punt return by Duntavian.
All right.
Great setup. You know, I'd rather for him to catch it on the first catch and not let it bounce. But, you know, with a result like this, you can't make too many calls about it by him bringing it all the way back and putting 6 points on the board.
That's Duntavian Gross.
Yep.
Hey, he's done that a fair amount of times for you, 2 and 3 years, hasn't he?
During his 3-year varsity career.
And the young man's got pretty good grades. I mean, he's a qualifier, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's going to be a qualifier. He's going to be a guy that's going to, you know, on National Signing Day, y'all will see him at the table.
Absolutely.
Sign his letter of intent.
I mean, you don't give a guy the number 1 unless he's pretty good, too. Don't you?
That's a number that has to be approved.
That kid needs to be able to play, doesn't he?
You just can't have somebody worried that's going to be sitting on the sideline.
Absolutely. All right, here it is, the end zone view. Duntavian Gross, Dun, as his teammates, as everybody calls him.
Yeah.
And it was done right there, wasn't it? After that move to the outside, that was pretty much all she wrote. All right, now back on defense.
Good pass breaker right here by Trey Allison. You know, Trey's another guy that's going both ways, you know, playing the tailback position also.
He's playing middle linebacker, isn't he?
Yeah. We had a little shuffle in our linebacker rotation. We moved Shundrick back to outside, which was his original position as a sophomore, and put Trey Allison at the mic in the middle. He's a big, athletic kid. You know, he knows how to move, and he makes some plays. This right here is a pass breakup by Mosley. Big, tall, athletic kid. He's gonna be a pretty good corner for us the rest of this year and going into his senior year next year.
It's Javon, right?
Juntavius.
Okay.
Mosley.
You don't shorten it though, right?
We call him Tay.
Tay, okay, all right.
Tay.
Okay. There's a better look at it. I always like the end zone views. Those are always good to see. All right, here we go.
Back on offense. Get to see a little bit of this. It's going to be Bryson rolling out and hitting Damian on a big touchdown play. Just throw it up there and let him use his athletic ability and big hands and catch the ball.
This is a hard pass to make, too. He's running to his left, has to stop and throw back. That's not the easiest throw in the world to make.
But when you got an arm like Bryson,
all right.
you make it look a little simple.
And good to get the ball to Damian Miller because there had been a couple of non-district games where he didn't get many touches, right?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot to do with, having a new quarterback, understanding the offense, getting comfortable in the offense. And that's what Bryson's starting to do right now. He's starting to understand, and he realized, a lot of the things that I need to do and a lot of things I don't need to do. It's going to be a great run right here by Kadarius Henderson. Like I said, KD was that running back for us last week.
That was a nice play.
That was a good job stretching out, getting into the end zone, and making a big play out of that. Good job up front, too, blocking. I think they've done a great job opening up some holes for our running backs yesterday, protecting Bryson in the passing game. A lot of that had to do with, shuffling kids around like Braylon. Putting a Division I
and
guy
Braylon's
like that.
the center on this play, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You get a good look at it here at the hole they just opened up. That's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big. That's a great job right there, too. So.
Now, is KD what grade's KD?
KD's a senior this
Senior,
year.
yeah. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, this is his second year on varsity. He got on varsity as a sophomore last year. As a junior last year, I'm sorry.
Smith steps up. Going
to Damian Miller once again for a touchdown play. I think they called him on the one on this one. I think they did.
He had a 40-yard touchdown catch.
So this was the 40-yard.
I think it is. Yeah, 39-yard catch. Yeah, 39
right
yards, second quarter. Yeah, I believe they gave him.
Yep. Good ball, good catch.
Watch number 13 here and see, he throws a block here in the backfield, does he not?
Yeah, KD.
No, he was
swung out.
Okay, swung out. Okay, but that's still a great throw.
Yeah, as you see Braden playing the center again.
Yep. And now
we're back on defense.
Yep. Oops.
Interception right here by Kieran Freeman. We call him Buster. Buster played safety for us as a backup last year, and we moved him to corner this year because he has quick feet, fluid hips, and as you can see right here, how to read passes. So he's doing a good job for us on the defense side of the ball.
And here's the end zone view of it. Of course, once you get a gift like that, you got to go capitalize on it. I guess we'll see that here shortly, but there you go.
Good job. I think that led to one of the fumbles that we had.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, that's something else, you can't have mental mistakes like that.
Oh, big play. This is
right here
Pierre Leonard.
Pierre Leonard doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And he got to have the extra at the end. That just wouldn't be Pierre. Exciting young man.
Well, he plays hard.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he plays hard.
He does that. And, I tell people all the time, as much attention as he brings to himself, he's a disciplined football player.
Yeah.
He really is.
He never jumps offside or anything like that.
He doesn't jump off sides. He doesn't rush upfield all the time and create holes. He does exactly what Coach Guthrie and Coach Anderson got him doing. Now you just got to be able to deal with some of the extra stuff that comes along with it. But other than that, he's a great kid.
Well, here's a play he made right here. Watch that.
Yep. And, that was a smart play by the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kickers wouldn't have thought to
just
kick that out of bounds and just take that safety.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kudos up to Whitehouse for for the heads up play on that, because he could have easily gave up 6 points.
6 points, yeah. But here, watch number 9. He's kind of right in the middle of the screen there. He's the one who's going to block the kick. And again, quick as a cat.
Yeah.
Bang.
And at this point right here, we're up 28-12, and now you add 2 to it.
Yeah, so you got that's 9 points off special teams in a game. Now the game is more lopsided than that, but you never know. Now here's
this is Bryson using his feet, using his ability. Oh, That's what we're going to get a little penalty on White House on the sideline here. A little extra.
Wow.
That we had going on.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, that's just not very smart on their part.
Yeah, that's just one of them plays. You know, that kid on the sideline, he had nothing to do with the play. He wasn't even on the field. You know, but.
Yeah, that's not. You got it, guys.
But then you got to tell your kids, hey, just because they do something stupid don't mean you do something stupid. So.
All right, here's the sideline view of that again. Out of bounds, run out of bounds, and then bumped on the ground. All right, back on offense.
Moving the ball pretty well, sustaining the drive. Dumped it off right here to Michael Givens.
Michael Givens, tell us about Michael.
Is making some plays for us. Doing a pretty good job right now. He's learning the system also. So as you see us progressively get better, you'll see him get better.
You got a bunch of contributing sophomores right now.
Yeah, a really young football team that's starting to learn how to play football, and you know that's what you want to see out of your team. You want to see them progressively get better. And right now, you know, by the way that they're practicing, they're starting to understand. You know, hey, this is what we have to do. Not always what we want to do, but it's what we have to do.
Now, who's number 5 in the backfield with you?
That's another one of our running backs, James Allen.
Okay, James Allen.
Yeah, he's in the backfield now. So
he's blocking for you.
Yeah, like I said, you're going to see a lot of different running backs back there during the year.
Just pure athleticism here by Bryson. Smith.
You know, that's just, you know, sometimes my guy's better than your guy.
Yeah. That about sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, you didn't scheme that play. That wasn't the design on that play, was it?
That was not the design of that play, Coach. I promise. I promise you. We were supposed to be throwing this ball, but because things broke down and they had some real good coverage on our guys.
But you got a good block. Somebody had the presence of mind, and maybe we'll see it on the bottom of the screen, you know, when you get the end zone view. Here we go. Check out the wide receiver block. And again, this is a busted play, right? Mm-hmm. And yet still one of your guys, and I'm not sure who it is, maybe you can help identify, makes a block that springs him right at the goal line. Okay, there you go. All right, here he goes. There you go, number 5. Okay, it's James Allen. Yeah, James Allen.
Coming back and making a great block.
You know, I mean, had the presence of mind to make a block that.
Now this is our 2 tight end set. We got Tobias and Goodson in, and you got 2 new backs.
This is Allen Wilson right here.
You got 2 new backs. You got Jesse Darden at the fullback position, and we also had Pierre Leonard at the tailback
position. This is the stuff you ran back when you were in high school, wasn't it?
It's the old Allen Wilson offense.
Yeah,
right
heck
here.
yeah.
Little rollout pass, dump it to the fullback.
You know what used to tickle me about you guys back in those days? You'd throw like maybe 6 to 8 passes in a game, and 3 of them would be for touchdowns.
They're going to be for touchdowns.
Yeah.
We're going to be effective at it.
Because you'd be wide open, you know, after.
It was a great job, great setup, great play. I was excited for Jesse getting in the end zone. Great play by Pierre. Shooting the gap, holding on for dear life, waiting on you guys to get there.
Was that his best game of the year so far, do you think?
He had a real good game. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. You know, he's doing exactly what he's coached to do, and he's making plays, and he's having fun.
He has fun now.
He does.
Yeah. He's going to get his money's worth. There you go. Yeah. All right. And then 7. Who is 7?
That was Brandon Day.
Brandon Day.
He's coming back off a hand injury, so he's getting back into the linebacker rotation, and he had a good game this Friday too. So.
All right, play there made. That is not. I think that was Braylon Jones, wasn't it? Number 52, maybe.
I believe it was. See. Yep, that's Big Braylon. Making a play.
The Bear.
Yep, that's the Bear. And no, that's Adrian Harris.
Is that 66?
Yeah, that was 65. That was 65? Adrian Harris.
Who's playing D-line and O-line.
Yep,
he's playing both ways
right
too.
Tackle.
Here's James. Is this?
This is K.D. Henderson.
K.D. Henderson again. Okay. Oh boy.
Getting out on him. I tell you what, that little guy right there runs hard, and he had a great offseason. You know, He was one of those kids that was in the weight room.
Playing 7-on-7.
Doing what he needed to do, playing 7-on-7, ran track.
Yeah.
You know, so he was doing everything he needed to do to prepare himself to be successful like he is this Friday night.
Yeah.
And more Friday nights to come. So.
End zone version of this. Watch KD once he gets out in the open.
Yeah.
Got a fifth gear there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he got a little fifth gear on him there, Coach.
He simply ran out of real estate on the sideline,
Yeah.
tried to cut back in, nowhere else to go. Or otherwise, they wouldn't catch him. And here's the touchdown play.
Touchdown
This is
right
Miller
here,
again, right?
Damon again. Out there at the top with the corner by itself, and I don't know if too many people want to try to man their corner up against.
Yeah, but he's got
like
such
Damon.
long strides, too. I mean, he looks almost effortless covering that ground.
like a little gazelle
Yeah.
gliding. Good ball right here by Bryson. Right over his shoulder, catch him in stride.
Yep.
I'm just glad Bryson put on a little weight going into this season.
Here goes Bryson.
Split
And there's
the
a fifth
guys.
gear there, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Got him pushed out at the pylon.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
I told you, you're supposed to outrun that guy. He said the angle was too good.
Well, that's all right. You got the touchdown.
Yeah,
anyway.
we got a touchdown eventually.
But that's not where I was impressed. Right here, there's a play coming up right here.
He
Bang,
splits.
there, right
Yep.
there.
Went right in between two defenders.
I guess give the White House kid credit for not giving up on the play.
Yeah, that's a good job, good effort by him. You know, they've done a great job, you know, this season thus far. You know, even playing against us, they've done a lot of good things, you know, and some was stopped by calls, just like some was stopped for us by calls. So
I was watching Braylon Jones snap the ball there. Is he going to, what will he play in college, offense or defense?
he's going to be an offensive guy in college.
Is he?
I think
Offensive
he's
lineman,
gonna
you
be
think? Okay.
I think he's going to be a center guard type
Okay,
kid.
all right. Well,
You know,
there you go.
and
There you go, back with that I formation,
running back by
double
committee.
tight end.
Yeah, that's Trey Allison getting it in there this time.
You were using the two tight ends there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is 1994 all over
All
again.
over again. Let's go.
Yeah, Alan Wilson would be proud. He didn't
Yeah.
text you after the game, did he, or anything like
No,
that?
I hadn't talked to him about about a week or so.
Okay.
So that was a good job. Offensive line blocked well, opened up some holes. It's a good play right here. That's Tobias Marshall. He's another sophomore that's contributing.
Yeah.
So
Did he strip the ball too? I know he got
Yeah.
the recovery. Did he get the
yeah, he caused a fumble.
who recovered it? I can't. Am I right
Pierre
about
Leonard.
that? Pierre Leonard recovered.
Covered the ball. Go figure. It's gonna be the last play right here. Get your little end
There you
zone
go.
shot right here.
All right, the strip and the recovery.
Yep.
And 65-33 was the final score on Friday night at the stadium against White House. It's kind of become a little bit of a rivalry, so to beat them, there's a big crowd out there and some emotion tied up in the ball game. So if you're going to win a district game to start off with, not a bad one to get in the
Not a
books,
bad
right?
one to get up with. You know, for the past couple of years, it's been the last game of the season.
Right.
And it's been coming down to us and them for a district title. So
Right.
that game has got some excitement that has been built into it over the years, you know, with the Greg Wards and the Pat Mahomes that have been playing in those games.
Both
right
starting
there.
quarterbacks in college football
Yes,
right
and
now.
they're both are being very, very successful in
Yeah.
college right now. So, you know, just watching them young men, not only on Friday, but now you get to see them play on Saturday and doing pretty much the same thing they was doing on Friday.
You know, that's a good point, what you just brought up. You don't, you need to see these games and enjoy these young men because you know what? Some of them are going to go on. You can say, I saw him win.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's guys playing for you every Friday night that you might be able to say the same thing about
Exactly.
5 years from now, right?
5 years from now.
I saw him play win.
Yep.
That's your job, right?
That's
To
the
try to
job.
get those guys ready to
Try to
go
get those
do that.
guys ready to go to the next level, get their education, And like we tell them all the time, you know, hey, once you get your education, anything is possible. You can make it to the next level, but you can be a great businessman. You can be somebody that's been a prominent person in the community. But you got to set yourself up to be successful. And by doing that, you got to do things right in the classroom and on the football field.
Tell us what Lindale does.
Pass the ball very well. They got 2 quality running backs that are grinding it out on the ground for them, that's setting up the pass plays for them. Got some great skill guys at the edge. Quarterback is playing good, and defense is playing solid. You know, they fly to the ball. They don't miss very many tackles. So you know, we're gonna have to try to take some advantage of some opportunities they're going to give us that we're going to create for ourselves also. We got to capitalize on that.
They're 3-1. They beat Corsicana this past week. So
Corsicana's a solid football team in our district. They really are.
So that was a good win for them. I mean, Lindale's obviously a much better football team.
They are. But you know, the success they had this summer in 707 kind of gave you a little, you know, view of.
Yeah, they made state for the first time, didn't they?
What was coming during the fall season.
Of course, we know Coach Metter, and he does a super job out there. The difference between 2-0 and 1-1 is profound, too, in a district race. 2-0 gives you a huge leg up.
That's right.
You know, going forward.
Yeah. Now you're being chased instead of being the chaser. And that's what I've been telling the kids. You know, hey, you want to start out this first district game. You want to be in the top half of the 8. And right now we're in the top half of the 8. So now moving forward, we got to make sure that we stay in that upper half. And the only way we're going to be able to stay in that upper half is to keep winning. And then that way we control our destiny going into the playoffs, not waiting on somebody to win or lose, or taking care of this game or not taking care of this game. As long as you keep winning, you always control what your outcome is.
You like this district this year too, don't you?
I do. It's a tough district. This district right here is a very competitive district. I think every team in this district has an opportunity to go make it in the playoff, whoever the top 4 may be, and make a pretty good run.
You think it'll take 4 district wins to get in the playoffs? Probably?
It'll take 4. It'll take 4, and depending on who wins and who lose, you may need to have 5.
You get out of injury-wise, you're still in pretty good shape, knock on wood, are you not?
Yeah, still in shape. You know, like I said, we got Brandon Dade back 100% last week against White House. So moving forward, everybody else is still ready to go.
Who were the offensive and defensive players of the week for you this past week?
I had several this week. I know on defense, I had Pierre Leonard.
Okay.
And then on offense, it was Bryson Smith, Damian Miller, and Kadarius Henderson. And then we had a new award that I had to have for this, for not just this game, but games to come forward. And it's the Lionheart Award, and that went to Braylon Jones. Going both sides of the ball and playing 150 plus snaps. That you have to give him commends for that.
Oh, by the way, Braylon's also scheduled to be the valedictorian of the senior class.
Yes.
He played 150 plays in this game?
150 plays plus.
150 plays.
Yeah.
I guess he was tired.
He was tired.
Maybe he's such good a shape. Maybe you're not tired. I don't know.
Well,
that wore me out.
He was tired at the end of the game. But Braylon has been conditioning himself to do this because he knew, you know, moving forward, we was going to have to eventually have to do this.
At Lindale, coming up Friday night at Eagle Stadium in Lindale. Now, a note on that. The press box side is the visiting side. That's where the visitors sit. So look for the press box, JT fans. The home side is the side opposite the press box. So that way you don't, no confusion. Look for the press box, right?
That's right.
and go in on that side. Again, that game kicks off at 7:30 Friday night at Eagle Stadium in Lindale. Go Cujo. For Coach Holmes, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.